he's not saying he's never had interactions with girls. He's just never had a girlfriend. That's starting to sound a little bit like he might be a boy. Hi YouTube friends, it's Trish here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. Bachelorette started. I wore flowers. I actually think these might be roses. There's some roses in it. Forgetting that I think this has some sort of floral pattern on it as well. But anyway, point is, I was very excited this morning to start watching The Bachelorette because we have an Asian Bachelorette. Yay! It's only about time. But anyway, so I was super excited. I just am coming off the heels of doing a whole bunch of Bridgerton videos because Bridgerton season 3 dropped, and so I was watching all of those episodes and trying out reaction style videos and chatting at the end anyway because I love to chat. It's kind of why I'm here. But this morning, minor editing that needed to be done before I tried uploading again, praying to the gods that copyright doesn't kick my butt, and I got that video up and then immediately turned on Bachelorette to start the season because it's exciting. It's so exciting. I love seeing something a little fresh being done over here. I mean, I love all the hot people of all colors. It's all great, but it's exciting to finally see someone of an Asian background as a lead. And it was a little upsetting how her announcement went. I can't remember all the specific details, but just the fact that, like, I know that there was a little bit of confusion because of the way they brought out Daisy first and all this kind of stuff, and much love to Daisy and Maria, nothing against them, but just the way the show sort of handled the announcement of Jen just felt a little bit sus. We didn't love it. But we're gonna put that behind us because the new season is starting. So I jotted down a couple of notes, but just like every other season, I am going to try this time to really stick to, I want to do a casual chat. I've watched the episode. I'm assuming that you've watched the episode. And so kind of want to take a walk down a few things that stuck out, whether it be from our beautiful lead Jen or one of her men. So, I think I hear a flight coming. Are you guys as excited as I am? I have a feeling this is going to be a good season. I'm really happy that it's Jen. I was going to be happy whether it be Jen or Maria. To me, they felt somewhat similar. A lot of vivacious, bubbly, flirtatious energy. Maybe they just leaned a little different. Like, I think Jen leans a bit more banter, jokester, want to have fun, and Maria leans a little bit more flirty and like maybe sensual, sexy, but both sort of have that, like, they're just out there, they're putting it out there, and they can sort of lead situations, I think, which I am so in awe of because I am not that type. And I think it's so cool. So I have a feeling that Jen's gonna be really fun to watch with all of these. I think she's gonna do a great job like handling all the guys in all these situations and chatting up. I mean, I think the first night went pretty well. So I'm excited to see more. But starting off in the episode, they start off with that little teaser, I guess, for a dramatic ending. Joey started off with his, it made us feel as if he wasn't going to end up with anybody at the end. And I kind of got the feeling that this was also hinting towards that. I noticed that there was no Billie Eilish song. Sad. I feel like that should have just stuck around and been a thing from now on, that we start off with some sort of pop song, but it didn't happen. So in the intro teaser, we see her telling some mystery man, whoever maybe the runner up is, that she can't let him propose to her. And she's in this white, sort of silver accented sequins dress, and she's in that sort of spot that you would typically think of as that last altar. Altar sounds weird to say, but I would assume that's what it is. So anyway, and then she sort of puts the rose down, and I think she's walking away. And then we see her sitting with Jesse Palmer. And over here, I noticed that her clothes changed. She was in a more casual, different outfit. Over there, he seemed to be like, are you sure this is something that you want to do and that you'll be okay whatever the outcome is? And then we see her like almost charging down this hallway, knocks on a door, immediately opens the door, doesn't even wait for a yeah, come on in or anything like that. Which, I mean, you know that these things are staged anyway, that the people know what's about to happen, especially for that sort of thing, a more sit down conversation. So yeah, there was just no business of waiting and playing. But over there, she was in a different dress. I don't know if it was sort of a white or a pale yellow with these purple flowers. Really pretty. But it just initially, because I rewinded it a little bit, initially I was like, oh, is this the same night? But then I was like, wait, she has that sit down with Jesse. That feels like it was a different day. So I went back and I watched it, and I noticed the outfit changes. So it's not all the same day. So I don't think it's all about the same situation. The only thing about this shirt is slowly it like recedes back and it feels like it's choking me. So yeah, it was kind of a short teaser, and it goes into then introducing Jen, and I felt like that was kind of a little short as well. But I mean, we got to see a little bit of her hometown. I guess she's from Boston. We saw her with her mentors at the hospital, and they're like, I thought I was sending you to PA school, which that was kind of funny. But anyway, we see her and her family. They're having like a dinner together, get together. Her dad was not there, and I know that from last season when she opened up to Joey, she talked about how she does not have a relationship with her father, and that growing up she just felt somewhat, I suppose the word you could use over here is neglected. Like, he was there but not there, which I completely related to and understood because I kind of had in the similar aspect with my dad. So that felt, interesting to see. I can't recall whether her parents are still together or not. Like, if they got divorced or if they're living separately, or are they living together and he just refuses to be on camera, or she didn't want him to be there, which, like, that's no business of any of ours, but it was just curious. But her mom is there. Her mom seems supportive. Her brother is there, and that was super sweet. So I think, she still has a great support system behind her through this journey, because I think my worry and fear would be in the situation that, as more possibly conservative leaning, just because I think most Asian cultures are like conservative, maybe not the right word, traditional, which I guess they go hand in hand a little bit. But anyway, the fear would be that the family wouldn't be there in any capacity. I think we had a lead before where that happened. Or was it just someone who ended up very late in the process? Like, they were one of the final 2 or 3. So anyway, not the case over here, and I'm really happy about that for Jen. So it then goes into the first night, and Jen is arriving, and we notice that, well, things look a little different. And then she comes out, Jesse Palmer addresses it. It's a whole new mansion. And no explanation to what happened at the old one, just, you're at a new place. Ta-da! So that was interesting. And then all the men started to show up. And some of the standouts from the initial, like, coming out of the limo that I guess I made note of. Okay, one note I kind of wanted to make just about Jen in particular through almost all of these, well, pretty much all of these limo exits and like all these initial introductions is she is so cute. They almost always are, but there's something so like bubbly and excited about her. She does like this little dance in between all the guys, like she'll say goodbye to them. Usually she makes like some sort of comment or something, and then as she's turning, she's just like like next. It's just really cute. And I felt like she was very easygoing, kept the guys in a more easygoing pace as they were. I know I received a comment that it's really not that loud and doesn't pick up that much, but it's so loud to me and I just don't, yelling over it just does not sound fun. Planes flying overhead, by the way, if you're new here. I live minutes away from an airport, an international airport, and so it is just... I was talking about how Jen is so fun and flirty, but I feel like there was something else I wanted to say there about her. Oh, I noticed that for a lot of the guys, she sort of had to like take their hands and guide them to where they're supposed to stand because they wanted to land and be basically in front of that angle of the camera. I'm sure they have a couple of cameras maybe set up, at least two. And so they kept like stopping where they would have blocked the camera from what was supposed to be both of them standing over there. And so I just noticed that she had to sort of like take their hands and guide them to where they're supposed to stand. That was kind of funny. Good on her though. Okay, so the first one that stands out is Sam M, right? He's someone from South Carolina. Sam N is the one who's the love version, I think. I don't know. I feel like when he stepped out of the limo, I don't know if it was a music change or what it was, but I was like, there's something about this guy. And I think you could initially see it from her too. Like there was just some sort of aura about him that feels a little bit captivating, I suppose, but also something about it is like worrying to me. I know she said that she's like picked bad guys in the past and has been through her fair share of toxic relationships, and not saying he is, but I just feel like sometimes with someone who's got a face like that and an aura like that, you gotta be on your guard. And as we get to know him a little bit, because it goes into his sort of video home package sort of thing, he's a contractor, so he's doing the whole Tyler Cameron vibe sort of situation. Later on the episode, one of the guys, his name's Brett, right? He was like, dude, you look like you should be in Top Gun 3. And I was like, oh no, I see it. He kind of looks a little bit, you know, like that sort of actor. So that was funny. But yeah, he's a contractor, South Carolina, but he talked about how he had been in love with this girl. They were engaged to get married. He knew her from middle school. I don't know when they started dating though. So like there's no details on when they started dating, how long were they dating for, how long was their engagement for, but we do know that it ended with her cheating on him, and so that's something that he could not get past. Tragic. That's horrible, and I mean, that just sucks. What struck me is he said that his engagement ended a year ago. And that feels a little maybe too soon to be trying to find love again, especially from a long-term relationship. I don't know how to feel about that. I initially, as it is, feel like, okay, obviously everyone is very different. It's case by case. Some people can get over relationships a lot sooner than others. Me personally, I just feel like it takes time. Then again, I've really only had one serious relationship and it was my first, so that's different situations, but I guess that's why I kind of feel iffy about this guy, because it sounds like the same for him. So yeah, there's something about that that kind of makes me feel a little bit extra nervous, because it sounds like this was maybe a first love sort of situation. Those sorts of like going apart, breakups, happenings, I feel like take a little longer to grow from, process, and go through. So anyway, that just makes me nervous. I don't know how it's going to go for them. And in the preview for the season, he's like telling her that he loves her, and she's saying, "How can you know that you love me if you don't even know me?" Um so yeah, we'll see, but I don't know. Um it seems like he could, and I got this actually even from him coming out of the limo before even seeing the the preview for the season, but I was like, huh, he could be going far. Could be a little villainish. And I wasn't quite sure how, but I was like, there's something about this guy's energy. I feel like he's going to be a little bit maybe possessive in a way, but also wanting her to, you know what it is? He kind of gives me Sean Booth vibes from Caitlyn's season. Yeah, there's something about him. There's very like steady energy. He's definitely confident in all of that kind of stuff, and there's a secureness in that. And I would assume that that's very hot to be around, you know. But I also get the sense that he may feel a little protective, possessive, which isn't a bad thing in a relationship, but too much is kind of like, no, that's not great. And so it'll be interesting to see in this competition sort of vibe how that plays out. Because yeah, I just get the feeling that he's going to be, I don't know, I'm not sure. And then like Thomas, who's the next guy I wrote down, Thomas, when he was just like, I think in the preview saying that he was manipulative, or like he would say certain things but do other things. I don't know. But anyway, so I actually did write him down. I loved his pun with giving her the bracelet with his last name on it, and hoping that by the end of this will be a win-win situation. That was so cute. But anyway, he was really cute. I was like, oh, he's got a lot of like nervous energy, but it's very sweet and kind of like endearing. And I just wonder if it's something that would work for her. I don't know. Jen seems to kind of be interested in a very well, hot guy, but who can blame her? But someone who's maybe a little bit more charismatic. She's a very loud, open personality. Someone that I do talk about later is Devin. And so they sort of find out that they're both sort of that way, and she says that she's looking for that. So I don't know if Thomas is really going to be end goals over here, but he was so sweet. And I'm kind of hoping his nervous energy will like ebb off a little bit as they go through the process, but um he seems really kind, you know, and it was really nice to see their conversation, because on the one hand, yeah, he's Vietnamese, she's Vietnamese, it's kind of nice that they can connect on that, but they had other levels of connecting where both of their mothers were studying in medical fields and gave that up in order to come over here and take care of their families, come here to the States, I mean. So like, I do think that there's something in having shared experiences that you can relate on, and there's an understanding, because all of our experience shape who we are as an individual. And sure, there are certain things where you may experience something the same, like siblings, take it, siblings will experience the same situations in their family dynamics, but maybe like it affects them in different ways and how they go about life. It'll be really interesting to just sort of see these two together and how their conversations develop, if it does. I have a feeling that he's just sort of going to be like around the drama, not really in the drama, just around it, and like talking about it. Maybe in the hopes of being like, I'm looking out for you, which is so sweet and great, but in doing that, oftentimes a connection isn't forming between the lead and that person. So it's a little bit like it could work, but usually it doesn't work. So anyway, but I like him. So looking forward to seeing you in Paradise. Aaron, who is Noah's brother, twin, right? Yeah. So but they're fraternal twins. He wants to be sort of like this pilot. Did he say a fighter pilot? Or am I just making that up in my head? Anyway, loves aviation, is going for a pilot's license and all of that, and that's really cool. He is divorced, got married pretty young at 21. I don't know if they said when he got divorced and how long it's been since then. Or I think he said he's been single for 5 years. Was that Aaron? Nope, that was Marcus. That was the army veteran. He was a ranger. It doesn't sound super close, so maybe I can just talk over this one. But anyway, yeah, so I'm not sure how long Aaron's been single and like what happened in that marriage to end up in divorce. And again, it's like, it's none of our business. But if I were pursuing someone in a relationship setting, these are the things that I do feel is valid for the person to know about, because it's like, you don't have to give me details. I don't need to know every nitty-gritty thing, but like, what happened and how did that affect you? How have you processed through that? What have you been doing since? Have you like understood? Like, there's so much involved in it. I come from divorced parents. I don't need to go into that. That's okay. But anyway, so I'm just like, there's things to know, and sure, we don't need to know, but like, is Jen having or going to have those conversations to understand that and better understand him? That's the point. That's the end of the thing, is to understand each other. And those sorts of things are huge and very affecting of your like, just who you are as an individual. So yes, these are the questions. Okay, so Devin, I did write that I think he's going to be going far. They had some sort of vibe like in their initial meeting as they were talking. I was like, there's some like comfortability over here that's, but kind of flirtatious bubbles, like butterflies, bubbles. But like butterflies or something like that. I don't know. There was something about it where I was like, but his home package is like, he's a really like loud guy. Houston, Texas, had a single mom growing up. And so I don't think I wrote anything else over there. I think it was just more so watching them together, and it's just, there's something over here. I think those were kind of the ones that I have my eye on. Tom is not so much for her. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. He was just more so, God, he's so cute. But like Aaron, Devin, Sam M, I feel like these are contenders for kind of going far. Let's see. They do a group game of Truth or Dare, which I thought that was interesting. I think in recent seasons they're kind of showing that they play something as a group. And I don't know if they've always been doing this or if this is something new that they've started doing just in recent seasons. I like it. I think it breaks the ice. It makes everyone kind of like chill, have fun, let loose a little bit, maybe ease the nerves a little bit. By that time you might have had a drink or two. So I think it's nice. I don't know what else to say about it. Okay, Jonathan with the bandages. I just thought, so like coming in was funny. He's on a gurney. He's all bandaged up. He says that he's lovesick, which is just, it's funny and it's cute. I kind of expected him over there to ask her to help him with his bandages, and then he would have his just reveal over there, but he didn't. He wanted to spin this into a, I wanted you to get to know me for me first before any of the appearances, because appearances fade, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, we know this. We've seen some variation of this over the seasons. There was one guy that had like a Batman mask on, or just this like a Zorro mask or something like that. He had something on. Some guy was in a box once. Like, it's always happened in some sort of fashion. So I was just sort of like, oh, is this gonna stick around for a few episodes and he's just gonna be bandaged up? And then the guys were sort of curious on what he looks like. Oh, we're just like sort of waiting for you to take it off and everything. And so he's like, oh, I think I'll let her do it in our one-on-one. And so I was like, oh, well, that was quick. Okay. I mean, interesting. But fine. I was okay with it until it actually started playing out and happened. And I think he just lost all of his planning. Maybe the nerves got to him. It did not play out as I expected it was gonna play out, and so then it kind of felt pointless and weird. Like, it just didn't land. But anyway, she like takes it off, and of course she's gonna be like, yeah, you're really attractive. Like, what is she supposed to say in that situation? But yeah, it was just sort of a weird thing leading up to how the bandages came off eventually. But yeah. I mean, he's a handsome guy, so what's there to say? Oh, the bit of tension over the car. Jeez Louise. Okay. So there's this guy, Jeremy, and he drives in this really cool black and red Corvette. And I love how one of the guys is like, is that a Ferrari or a Corvette? And I'm just like, dude, that's a Corvette. But I like some cars. I don't know anything about how a car works or like how to fix it. I can't even change a tire. I don't think. I've never actually tried. But I'm a student of design. Well, not a student anymore. I'm a professional of design. And I really like nice looking things. And there are some nice looking cars, and a Corvette is one of them. I also I had a dance teacher that drove a red Corvette convertible growing up, and so that's one of my dream cars is to have a Corvette, either black or white. But anyway, so he drives in this Corvette. All the guys are like, ooh, is he compensating for something? And he even talks about it a little bit. So that's all fine and dandy. In his one-on-one, he decides to take her over there, and they're sitting in the car. And she's like, so did you ship this over here? That's how you find out it's his car. He has shipped it from New York, which I was like, cross country? You shipped your Corvette cross country for night one? On the Bachelorette? Did he think he was gonna go far, or like did he think this was gonna be a one night shtick? In one way, he should be glad that Brian came over and started this nonsense, because it ensured both of them moving forward. If that didn't happen, I don't know if he would have gotten past night one. So in a way, it's kind of a good thing that Brian comes and is a little bit of a douchebag, because his keys are not in the car, and she was like, oh, that's a bummer, like would have been nice to go for a drive and stuff like that. But then Brian comes over, and essentially you think he's just trying to butt in and be like, oh, can I steal her away? Which is like, it happens every season. But they find out that Brian has Jeremy's keys, which, production, what the fuck? Are you serious? If that were my car and you gave my keys to some idiot that I don't know, that would not be cool. Would not be cool. So I don't honestly know if Jeremy could have handled this in a different way, because I think he was trying to just be like, no dude, like, give me my keys. Because Brian is saying, oh, you can leave, we're gonna go for a drive. Come again? Like, I don't know. No. I'm so flabbergasted that I'm speechless, because all I can think about is, if it were my car, it doesn't even have to be a Corvette, it could be my Mazda 6. If you walk up to me with my car keys and you're like, oh, you can step out, we're gonna go for a ride, and I don't know who the hell you are, absolutely the fuck not. You can hand me my keys and walk away right now. Like, the nerve, like the audacity with a capital A U D I. I need to spell it out. Yeah, it's not I, it's A. Anyway, so it's embarrassing. Anyway, point is, I'm just like, absolutely not. Get the fuck away from me. Dropping the F-bomb a lot. I'm very like, I also don't like being rude. I really don't. I think that there are better ways to communicate when you want something or to say something. There's no need to be disrespectful and rude. And that's exactly what Brian was doing. Because if this is actually Jeremy's car, which I'm under the impression that it is, just the way that the conversation with Jen was going with Jen before Brian arrived. So anyway, it's just like, how dare you? But anyway, after he does ask for the keys back and Brian is just standing there like a fucking idiot and is not going to give the keys over, he can tell that Brian's just not going to, so they would be at a stalemate. Like, they would just be there for ever because Brian has the fucking audacity. And so he leaves. Which is like, I could never. I think I would like... I mean, I would leave, but I also would take my key with me. But be like, yeah, if you would like to take her and chat, I will pull her again later. Go ahead. But no, you were leaving my key over here. So I'm just really flabbergasted that happened. But anyway, so Jen is just sort of awkwardly sitting there. She doesn't really know what to do. They're stuck in this sort of stalemate. And so Jeremy's like, oh, okay, have fun. And Jen is just like, don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Which, that was nice. Brian sits in. I don't know if Jen actually really wanted to continue talking with Brian, but she's stuck over there and they're chatting. They're revving the engine, which I was just like, are you shitting me? I mean, at least they're not driving away in his car, but it's still sort of like rubbing salt in the wound. I just, I gotta move on because I'm just getting so heated. It's so pissed off. Okay. She has her one-on-one time with Grant, and they're playing basketball. The guys had just been talking in the house about if anyone has had a kiss with her yet, which, like, yeah, surprisingly, Jen was like, nope, not gonna kiss anyone until I really feel a connection and I really want to, like, connect with someone before we kiss. Which, great. I mean, great either way. Anyone can do whatever the fuck they want. But it was just sort of nice to see that, because I kind of expected, I guess, Jen to be like, yeah, let's have fun. But it was sweet to see that she was like, no, I want to really connect with an individual before I kiss them. And yeah, so all the guys were just like, has anyone kissed her? No? Okay, maybe, like, this is really cool. So anyway, Grant then goes on his one-on-one time and he's just like, all right, let's play some basketball. If I win, you got to give me a kiss. Which I was a little bit like, So we're forcing a kiss over here? But then I was like, okay, he means it in good fun. It's just supposed to be fun and flirty. I'm sure he's not meaning like a kiss kiss. He will probably be totally fine if she kisses him on the cheek or something like that. So I'm like, all right, all right. But they're playing and Jen is just actually really good. Like she's hitting all the balls in. I don't think that she's like throwing all the balls in. Hitting is probably not the right word. But anyway, um so good for Jen. And I think he's a little, pleasantly surprised and probably is like, oh, damn, okay, girl. So that was cute. And they get to talking afterwards. You can tell that he's half listening to the conversation, but probably more so like wanting to kiss her. And then she sort of gets in the same vibe. And this was done so hilariously because as it was happening, I was like, someone's gonna walk in on them, aren't they? Like, they're not gonna actually be able to kiss. And then whenever music was playing, sort of stopped because you then hear Thomas be like, oh, can I like butt in for a minute and steal you away or something like that? And I had to rewind it because I was like, that was played like some sort of like Friends episode or something like that, like some sort of comedy show. The way they had the music playing, these two are looking at each other, Jen's over there biting her lip, like definitely giving the signal of give me a kiss if you're feeling it, because I am. And so looked like it was definitely going in that sort of direction. And then music cuts off because Thomas is there. That was really funny. So the first impression rose comes out, and at this point I was like, who could it go to? And I was thinking it was between Sam and Devin, because I feel like, no, not Devin, sorry. Though they did have good one-on-one time together, they both sort of realized that they are both loud personalities and it's actually something she's looking for. I don't think I was thinking Devin, but who was I thinking about? Aaron, maybe. Even though their conversation wasn't spectacular or anything to shout home about, I still feel like there was something over there. I don't know. It's something to keep an eye out for. I think that there might be some sort of interest over there. So I think I was between Aaron and Sam, but of course it was Sam. And so they go off to the side and she gives him the rose and then she kisses him. And I do believe when they initially had their one-on-one earlier the night, he might have been going in for a kiss and she gave her cheek at that time. I wasn't actually sure all the way because when I was watching it, the way they like edited those two scenes together was so seamless. It actually looked, and he had no reaction to it, that I didn't feel like he was rejected in any way. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe he was just going in to kiss her on the cheek. But then I'm like, maybe not. Maybe he was going in for a kiss, but she seamlessly like gave the cheek and he was okay with that. Like whatever she was comfortable with is what he was going to go with. I have a feeling nothing really shakes Sam that much. So yeah, I was like, interesting. But over here she was like, okay, I'm ready. And she just went in for the kiss with him and oh god, they made out. They made out on that couch, like laying all the way back. I know that type of kiss. It's a hot kiss. It went on for ages to the point where like the guys felt like they were waiting. I actually, at first I wasn't sure if they were gonna be walked past the same room that those two were kissing in and have to like see her kissing Sam before they go into the rose ceremony. I was like, they're not about to do this. Please do not do this. It didn't happen. But I just got a feeling that the guys were like waiting for them. I don't know if that was the case or not, or if that's just how the show made it seem like. But anyway, they went in for the rose ceremony, and as like the guys that didn't get their rose are saying their goodbyes, we hear Jen just sort of being like, wow, this is like, I knew that this was going to be hard, that there were going to be like hard goodbyes to have to make, but it's just so strange because she kind of felt like she'd never experienced people being there for her and putting her first, and she's just now experiencing that, and on such a large magnitude, like there's 25 guys over here that were all vying for her attention. That's a lot to take in. And from someone who also comes from like daddy issues camp, like I get it. And so when they go into the season preview and we're listening to Jen sort of talk a little bit more on that, on how she didn't get that attention like that before, and then she like picked bad guys to be in toxic relationships with, she is craving just someone to truly love and care for her and just be there for her the way she wants to be there for someone else. And she is preaching to the choir over here, and I completely get it, and I hope that she finds it. Though I guess from the little teaser that they put at the beginning of the episode, no, not that one, the teaser they put at the end of the episode, we get, I guess, a little bit more fleshed out from that last conversation thing, because when she's talking to Jesse Palmer and he's like, are you sure you want to do this, that you'll be okay with whatever the outcome, we see more of the scene at the end of the episode, and he's like, no Bachelorette has ever done this before, you would be the first, or something, which, like, there's always something like that every episode, right? Or every season. But over here, I did get the inkling that maybe she ends up solo. I don't know why, because she was like, I'm going to choose me, or I'm going to choose what's right for me, or something like that. And it was just the wording that she used and the way she phrased it. Yeah, there's just something about it. I kind of feel like she's not going to be with anyone in the end. And she's going to choose herself. Like a deep theme moment. A deep theme moment. From Love is Blind. Yeah. I don't know why I think that, but I'm kind of leaning that way. If that's what ends up happening and she's happy, I'm happy. And if she's chosen someone and she's happy, I'm happy. Like, I just hope that she's happy at the end of this. And I think that was everything that I had. Are we excited for this season? Oh my god, they're off to Australia. They're literally off to Melbourne, Australia after the first night. They're usually here for a couple of weeks, I think, in terms of like us watching before they start traveling. And in the beginning, usually I think they're traveling around the US before they start going international. Nope, off the bat, first night. Well, I hope you guys get a good night's sleep, because tomorrow we're going to Melbourne. And I'm just like, what? Okay. So curious about this whole mansion situation. Somehow I guess they didn't get the original mansion for some reason. I don't know if this is like, this new mansion that they were at tonight is one that we will be arriving at moving forward in future seasons, or is this something that also will continue where we just have one night at the mansion but then we just start traveling around? I mean, hell, they have enough money to. I mean, why not, I guess. So this will be interesting because they're just starting off the bat going international. Wow. Okay, I don't think that will pick up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I think that's all I had. It was a nice start. I'm excited to see the season. The preview looks interesting, and there's definitely going to be a little bit of drama, as always. They're always in some form or fashion. So I'm excited to just see what plays out. I think it's going to be entertaining. And I think Jen's going to be an excellent Bachelorette. She's going to be fun to watch. So, and like, some of these guys, they're real characters. I don't know about the Sam guy, the love virgin. How do you look like that and you've never, I actually, no. Maybe you can. Because he's not saying he's never had interactions with girls. He's just never had a girlfriend. That's starting to sound a little bit like he might be a fuckboy. So anyway, we'll see what ends up happening. I'm excited to see it. And let me know what you guys think about these guys. Who are your favorites? Who do you think is going far? Um, I feel like, yeah, the top few that I mentioned that I can think of right now, it seems to be Sam, maybe Aaron, and maybe Devin, maybe Grant. They had a moment. Um, yeah, I think so. I'm not locking them in as my top four. I just think that those are the ones that are sticking out for possibly going far. Um, oh, Marcus. They had a nice conversation and a nice moment. So that might be another one where I think we'll be seeing them for a while. So I'm excited. And with that, I think that's about it. Have a good one. Toodles.